What's up, guys? Wow, it's way too loud. Alright, well, I'm waiting for everybody to get in. I'm actually the only one here right now. Let's see, what should I look up? Oh shit, you know what? I gotta change the name of the podcast everywhere. Let's see. I think this is episode 226. I'll let y'all be on this adventure with me as I figure out the rest of the show. Yeah, it's episode 226. If I can get Restream to open up, it won't load for me on my browser. And try a different web browser. Restream. There it is. Let's just go ahead and change this title. Whoa, I didn't realize that it didn't get changed last time. Oh man, that's not good. 226 E3 reaction. I think that's a good title. Let's update all those titles, especially that YouTube one. It's where I get all my monies. Oh, alright, well, I'm gonna have to go back on YouTube. I really didn't have any ideas that we didn't change the title. I'm gonna have to have Jason do it. He has the login to the YouTube stuff. I just do not, actually. Let's see, it's 8:01. I haven't heard from anybody yet. Let's see what's going on in Twitter chat. I know y'all don't want to hear me just keep numbing away at the keyboard, but we'll eventually figure out if anybody's coming to do the show with me. Eric said he was, and that was just a couple minutes ago, so. I think I might go to the gym tonight. Just don't. I'm not tired. I need to get something to make me do something. Lose some energy. Me and my dog Otis have been hanging out all day. Little mood lighting, you know, for the night. Let's see what's going on with the peeps. Steam. So, well, since I'm the only one here, I'll talk about it, I guess. I've been watching the what was it? The Expanse. That show's been getting so good. Like, it's weird how amazing it is now. Like, that last episode that I just watched, it hit the best cliffhanger ever. I'm not gonna spoil it. Definitely watch that show. It's awesome. I've been also watching Colony, and that's starting to actually get a lot better. Um, it started out real slow, honestly, and I was just not. Well, it's not even that it started out slow. It's like all these seasons have been going crazy. Steph is in the lobby. I don't know if he's talking. He's caught me talking to myself. He's typing though, supposedly. Let's see.
Yo.
There he is. What up, Steph?
Not shit. I was cleaning my bedroom.
I was just talking to myself about
Did you start the
TV
show?
shows. No, not yet. I'm just talking to myself while I
talking to yourself. Are you live?
Yeah, we're live. Thought I'd make
okay.
it entertaining, you know.
Might as well.
Do you watch what is it called? I was just talking about it. The Colony at all? Or The Expanse?
No, I'm watching Westworld though. You watch Westworld?
I haven't seen the latest episode yet.
It's pretty good.
It's been getting better. I think this season is definitely subpar. Like, it's nowhere near as good as the first season.
I don't know, man.
It's on an uptick. It's on an uptick.
That episode where they did the fidelity test with the founder.
Yeah.
That show was great. It's probably the best episode in the series, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's on an uptick, but for the season as a whole, though, I don't know.
There's 2 more episodes left. Huh? You ain't even seen the 3rd episode. There's 3 more episodes left for you.
But I'm talking about from everything I've seen so far. It's like the first season's like amazing every single episode.
There was a little bit of low in the first season, like the episode 5, 6, and 7 were kind of.
Yeah, but this is episodes. This is episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 are kind of like the lull.
You didn't like the first 5 episodes of this season? Crazy.
I didn't say I didn't think they were good. I just don't think they were as good as the first season. I mean, this first season, it's all new and you're learning things and everything's fucking great. This season's like, I want to slit my wrist because bad things. I mean, it's just it's a melodrama, and it's not even good melodrama. It's just whatever. Like, it's just not as catching. Huh?
I guess.
What series you guys? What series you guys talking about?
Yeah, what's up, Westworld.
Oh, Westworld. I gotcha.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I honestly put the show down and was like, well, I just will watch it in bulk. And then I watched like 4 episodes and I was like, it's getting better. But yeah, it's definitely is not as good as the first season, in my opinion.
You sir are wrong.
I enjoy being wrong all the time. The little world of Dustin is right.
It's Dustin's world. We just live
Dustin's world. Yeah, that's true. All TV shows that continue on are because of my good graces.
Nice.
Yeah. Especially that damn Vampire Diaries. Killed that show. I killed it.
That's right.
Alright. Where's Eric? That's the real question. Where's Jason?
I haven't even seen
Eric said, yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be there.
When did you say that?
Well, he said that at
in the podcast chat
7:58 p.m.
Twitter?
is when he. No, I messaged him on Steam and he replied, yeah, at 7:58. So about 10 minutes ago, he said that.
Do you guys hear music in the background from me?
Not really.
Not really.
Alright. Because they're blasting music outside my apartment.
I hear it now. So you can put your mic on push to talk. That's what I do.
Yeah,
no, but it's only when he's talking though. It's not like it's when he's not talking. It's never clicking in for me.
Alright, cool.
It's nothing that'll ruin the show or anything. I mean,
you're gonna ruin the show with that mic.
Yeah.
With that rap music.
You fucked it all up, Will.
You listen to the new Nas album?
Sounds like that's what they're blasting.
Seriously? I mean, you're in New York. I mean, come on. Let's
Yeah.
get gas.
I don't know what they're blasting actually.
You should blast the Westworld soundtrack.
I'm not up to date with what the kids are playing these days, or even the irresponsible adults.
I got a question since we're just going on a tangent here until we start.
Okay.
Do you think Remedy would ever make a game again without time powers?
Maybe.
I mean, I just feel like that's all they do. I'm just looking at this control stuff. Apparently, there was a car for Forza somewhere
We're at
Yeah,
the
heard.
conference.
at E3.
Yeah.
Oh, they just didn't show it at the
Yeah, they
conference.
just didn't show it, I don't guess, at the conference.
It was invisible.
We should play some PUBG after this.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I was actually supposed to be playing mobile PUBG with my friend.
Mobile.
I'm out of myself. Yeah, he's at work. He's like, you know, play PUBG? One at work.
I don't know what y'all talking about. We need to play Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch.
No, don't play Fortnite.
On the Nintendo Switch, sir.
Stop it, sir. Yes, I will not be playing that.
It runs fairly well, honestly. It's a decent little port.
Is it?
Yeah, honestly, it's probably the only way I would play it, because I'm going to play on my big TV. It's going to be pub.
So this Fortnite thing on PS4, like, so even if you just like play it on PS4,
One
you get
single
locked
game.
out.
That's it. That's all it
Oh.
takes. One game.
What if you like just
So
start?
let's put it this way, Will. Let's say you bought a bunch of shit for Fortnite on your Xbox account, right? Playing it, you love it. Keep buying the shit on your Xbox.
Love and Life.
An hour later,
smoking
your friend
cigarettes.
invites you over to his house, and you're like, I want to try Fortnite for the PS4. You log on. Sony has now locked down all your purchases to PlayStation 4. You will never be able to play again on your Xbox without starting a new account.
Oh, man.
Wait, I thought that
That-
if you played it on Xbox, you can't play it on PlayStation.
No, not true. You can still play it, but once you do, Sony locks you out of everything else. That is what the uproar is about, is the fact that you could play it on every other platform and it'll be fine, but once you play it on PlayStation, they lock you out of both Nintendo and Xbox. Even if you bought everything through Xbox or the Nintendo Switch and put money into it, Sony still locks you out of your original
That's so
purchases. Yeah.
So you can't even play on Xbox or anything.
It won't let you
Man.
log in. That's it.
But
All it
doesn't that
takes
seem
is
like
one time.
but doesn't that seem like what do you call it? What the fuck? The issue with the other company. The fuck is the name?
Epic?
What issue?
Epic. Yeah.
Oh, what about it?
Wouldn't that be an issue with them?
No.
No, because it's a license agreement with Sony. That's the problem.
Hmm.
Because if that was the case, then it would be that way anyway. Like if you played on Switch, you wouldn't be able to play on Xbox and PlayStation. Or if you played on Xbox,
Yeah.
you couldn't play on Switch and PlayStation. No, Epic's down to let anybody do whatever. It's Sony's the one that's locking everybody out.
So ridiculous.
So we're just gonna let people. I think the yelling and everything and the tweets and Sony put planted a bomb on their own chest. So let it blow. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That is one of the most anti-consumer things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, they're just not even doing anything about it. They're just being dicks.
I'd be curious how a lawsuit would work against that. Like if you had bought all your shit on Xbox and then it kicked you out of your account and you had to play on PlayStation, if you could sue PlayStation or if Microsoft could sue them, or how that would work. Like who would you sue?
Sue me.
I mean, it would have to be a lawsuit, I would imagine. if you went over to your friend's house and just signed in for a minute. I guess it's all in the EULA, but even the courts in the United States say that EULAs don't mean shit because nobody reads them.
Yeah.
Really? Is that actually a thing?
Uh-huh. Yeah, the court system has come out and said, yeah, EULAs don't matter.
So what's
Because,
other,
like, they
not,
tried to stop people from selling their, like, this is literally in reference to people trying to sell their games, and with companies saying, well, you own a license to play the game, you don't own the disc itself technically. And it's like, no, actually I own the disc according to, you know, the courts. And it would be the same situation here. Would, like, do you own, like, this is a license to Fortnite, and you paid for that license, and then now Sony's locking it to a platform you don't own. Like, it would be really weird to see in court.
yeah, that'd be. I mean, finally see somebody to work, work against it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really fucked up what Sony's doing.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Or maybe Epic is orchestrating the whole thing just to give Sony bad feedback. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Mainly
who knows
because
how long?
they've pushed for it.
Yeah, and who knows how long Fortnite will even be up for people to play? Because they're already in a legal battle with the creators of PUB.
That's true.
Because that Fortnite servers could go down just off of copyright violations. It's possible. More likely it'd just be a really big fine, though. You figure that settlement would be in the billions, probably, though.
Oh
just
yeah,
because of the size of the franchises. Yeah.
So you think Epic will have a case against Sony in this case, or no? Oh, well, probably not, because they have just a bit, like you said, the EU list.
Well, I'm not even talking about that part, but like I think PUB definitely has a case against Epic, but
Yeah.
technically, I don't think they would have. Well, they might have a case. I don't know. It's so weird. It's above my head. All I know is it's fucked up.
It is.
That is the one I forgot. Somebody brought up a good point. I can't wait for Enslaved to come back. Microsoft owns the IP now, right?
I don't know. Wasn't it Bandai Namco?
Did they own the license?
I don't know. I thought it was Bandai Namco, but maybe I'm. Unless they just published it and then.
It must have no, because it was owned by well, who's the owner? Let's see. I'm searching now. The developer was Ninja Theory. The publisher was Bandai Namco. Designer Mark Davis.
So we waiting for Eric, or are we gonna start?
Well, I was waiting for Jason and Eric.
Oh yeah.
Send another message, and then we'll run downstairs in a second.
So, sounds good.
Eric's in Discord now. We'll see if he talks.
Semantic meat. So can we get a post of that Wreck-It Ralph gif? Can't find it anywhere.
Hello.
There
You,
he is.
Eric.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't see. It doesn't say on the wiki if Ninja Theory owned the actual. I know they made it. They're the developers, but yeah, Bandai Namco was the publisher. We'll have to look into it because I don't know if you played Enslaved. I really enjoyed Enslaved. Thought it was a good IP.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's gonna look amazing when it's like enhanced. Oh man, if that even gets enhanced, but that game looked great.
I hope Microsoft owns it and uses it. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And it had a really cool ending. All right.
Yeah,
I
didn't get
I'll be
that
right
far,
back.
but yeah, no problem. So what's the GIF? Matt Meat's talking about the Wreck-It Ralph GIF.
The one with the showing the
There he is.
conference.
There's old E-Rock.
Yeah, the superior black man in here, of course.
Do you see do you see this right here on the right hand side of your Discord?
The hell, the definitive. Yeah, they gotta give you another name to make you feel better. I guess
Hey,
another
I
title
didn't ask.
make you
It was
feel
given.
better. Dustin had to make you feel better. I was here since the second episode, the second one. Could have been the first. I just didn't show up. Happens.
Sounds about right.
Oh man, I've been laughing though. I ain't gonna lie, I've been laughing with you though, cause it was some funny stuff going down. It was some funny stuff going down as these articles were coming in, like crazy articles. People losing their minds. Like they're like, look, the way we see it, like look, guy was like, damn, this is worse than the article was hilarious from a guy from like, PlayStation. I was like, look, this E3 for me was a bigger disappointment than I was prepared for. I was like, damn, this is gonna be good. And everybody was like, look, everybody needs to just chill. This guy is over exaggerating. Then the Microsoft 183 articles came in, and that's when things hit the fan. I was like, oh snap. Then the Microsoft Twitch highest viewership came in. I was like, oh snap, there's about to be a meltdown over here. It got real fast.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's hilarious. I had to do my I was going in, it was funny playing around with them. The playground games thing got people real mad. I don't know why. It makes no sense.
That got people mad?
Yeah, they were like saying like, well, yeah, they first gotta make a game first. Let's read the comments. People got like they was like that. I responded to that Lucifer dude. He's like, they'll create great games just like Rare and Lionhead. Oh, he's trying to be a jerk. I was like, they created Horizon. Like it's not like they don't know how to make games.
Who said that? Who was saying?
Lucifer, look, Lucifer's on there. I don't know if you remember. Lucifer, he had the.
Drop a link.
He usually doesn't say anything, but he did comment on that.
On the we want to be the best in the world. That one.
Yeah, he's in there. But there's a whole bunch of other ones that were hilarious. Because we know they're making Fable, right? And I trust after seeing Horizon 4 and I saw the season, so I was like, damn, I could definitely see. Oh man, I could definitely see them making a Fable with that type of technology. Oh my gosh, be ridiculous.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And that's why they picked Britain. Like they got to keep that European. How in Fable it's like based in Europe.
Yeah.
You got to keep that. Maybe that was like a. You never know. This will be an easy transition for them. Oh wait, but then again, that's wrong, right? The Horizon developer is different from Playground. Got another team.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna announce like when you say they got another team. You think it's gonna be called Playgrounds?
It is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Playgrounds. It's just going to be another team.
Oh.
They're going to be making. Because they got one studio doing that, and the other studio is doing Fable.
Who that? Who that? Oh, Jason. There he is.
Yeah, Jason.
I'm gonna go get a line of cocaine real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh.
All right.
I'm joking, of course. I need to just make sure my kids aren't murdering each other.
Look, I had to comment on this too, though. Look, I'll drop the link in there. Obviously, I was low key, like, taking a troll at that, but I had to say something because I know people were.
Where'd you put the link at?
Oh, right here in the Discord. Oh wait, damn it, I put it in the wrong place. Sorry. Put it.
Yeah, you
I'll
put it
delete
in the
it. Hold on,
notes.
I'll delete it.
No, don't delete it. Just let me click it.
Wait, how do you? Is it podcast? Gaming. Here we go. Okay, I put it in gaming. It was just hilarious because like people were saying since like all the big E3s are done, they were like going in on Microsoft, like well they only had this and that, and then this comes up. It's like what can you say?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people were really curious as to what was going on that day.
People were wilding out though. Initially, they were like, "Well, it wasn't that good." I'm like, I was talking to some dealer. What the hell you mean it wasn't that good? It was after all of them were done. Like, if we're gonna sit here and say the Sony one, yes,
y'all see that Microsoft gave out a game for you watching it on the Mixer? I couldn't even fucking sign into my Mixer account and watch the press.
Man,
I was pissed.
Yeah.
What game did they give out?
Let me see what the game is. It's like an
I'm gonna
indie
be honest.
game.
Outer World.
Yeah.
I was watching something else I didn't pay attention to, or I was never logged in, but I watched it on my. Or no, I should have been logged in because I was on my Xbox. Yeah,
I'm stunned at what Polygon said about Last of Us 2.
What did they say?
They said it was the best thing I've seen at E3 for years. But the craziest part was when they went and they said the shift from normalcy to violence. They usually say some crazy stuff. You know that, right? About violence, like this game is too violent. And he said the violence was toned down in the compared to the other game, basically, which is retarded. But it's funny how they spin it now that it's a female protagonist. You know how Polygon is so weird. When it was Joel, I guess they didn't. They were like, "Oh man, why do you need to see that?" And they talk about the kiss. They said the kiss was one of the best things of the trailer. I was like, really? Like really?
It's because people have
too much.
That's what we at in gaming now. The kiss. Okay.
You mean the same Polygon that said that Battlefield 5 were jumping behind EA saying that man babies need to stay home and not play Battlefield 5?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Even
like,
though
Polygon
man babies represent like 3/4 of their entire probably more than 3/4 of their entire player
you
base.
can really see who's the guy. What's his name? Ben Kuchura? Yeah, I should have known it was that guy.
Fucking EA's retarded too for even fucking doing that shit on Twitter.
What's a man baby?
It's a person that apparently likes historical accuracy in their video games, but
Oh yeah,
but
the Battlefield
essentially
5
it's
situation,
like look,
EA said,
like
don't buy our
remember when
game.
the original Ghostbusters came out and people were like, "This sucks. It's not the Ghostbusters I remember."
Yeah.
It fucking sucks that they're hard rebooting this. Well, if you made those kinds of comments, then you were a 50-year-old man baby living in your mother's basement.
Yeah,
apparently.
You couldn't say the Ghostbusters was a bad movie.
If you found any way to criticize it, then you
that
were
reboot
the
was
man
bad.
baby.
You talking about the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
That reboot was bad. I mean, anybody who see it?
No, I mean, but let's be like, if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, I don't know if I can do this real quick, but Ghostbusters 2 kind of sucked. It wasn't a great movie. It was a fun movie as a kid, but it was a bad movie. But fucking the reboot is garbage. Like, it is a terrible movie.
And it's not about.
And it's not because, and it has nothing to do with the fucking vaginas in the movie. It has everything to do with just the fucking writing was terrible. Like
and the directing was fucking terrible.
The directing and writing was terrible. It had nothing to do with it being female Ghostbusters. It literally all. It was just like, wow, this is a really
it
fucking
had
bad
part
movie.
of it to do with them doing a hard reboot.
Yeah, they
With
should have all
them,
been their daughters or some shit. You could have
that's
fucking
the way I think they should
done
They
it
should
have.
have
any way you
got
wanted.
the other actors from Bridesmaids. They had 2 of them. They needed to replace those other 2 with 2 other characters from Bridesmaids, and the whole script would have been different, and it would have been awesome.
Maybe,
They didn't do
but
that, you know?
it's no. The script wouldn't have been different. It wouldn't. It would have still been awful, because it was about just doing improvising bullshit jokes, and that's not what made Ghostbusters is a funny movie because the writing is fucking amazing in the original Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 2 is bad because the writing wasn't as great. It had nothing to do with the actors.
I'll put it this way:
Ghostbusters Remasters was trash because the fucking writing was trash. The script
The original
was trash.
Ghostbusters didn't have a queef joke 5 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
No, but
enough
EA's
about
taking a
enough about
strong
Ghostbusters.
stance, though. They're taking a very strong stance, like they're saying.
Yes, there were women
you know,
in
if
World
you
War
don't-
II, but
if
when
you
you fucking
Not on
try
the
to
front
compare,
lines.
No,
there
I
weren't
mean not about
there
the woman,
weren't
I mean,
women.
like,
Let's throw it out there. Women were not on the front lines. The amount of women that died compared to men were fucking negligible. Like fucking that war was won on the death of young men being sent to war, like on both sides. I'm sorry, women were not really in that war. Fucking get over it.
Is
That
that
war-
why? Are you mad that they have a woman on the cover?
No, I really don't
I
give
don't
a fuck.
give a shit.
Okay.
but-
Are you mad of the story direction?
Look, let me put it this way. I don't give a fuck at all. Like, I'm interested in the story. Women had a part in World War II, but to pretend that they had a part as big as any man is disrespectful to the men that died in that war.
Well,
But at
I
the
think
same
the
time, if you
disrespectful
blow it
part-
up, if you blow it up to this proportion of like there were no women in the war, well, you're wrong. There were women in the war. They just weren't on the front line. Women played a huge part in World War II. They created most of the fucking vehicles and everything else we used to fucking fight that war. But if you want to pretend that we didn't have a million fathers and sons that died on a battleground, then you're fucking bizarre. You're denying history.
I think it's disrespectful to have a woman like a Tomb Raider or a Master Chief like woman that apparently is as good as an army of men that died in World War II. I think it doesn't really matter.
I'm a little bit confused. Are they
Well,
really
I mean, any game that does that, it's like, oh, it's the same thing for having men.
And
those
Jason
roles.
means that in a game with that is trying to be historically accurate,
Yeah.
which this game is trying to
Well,
be. If you want to be like, this is a piece
Dice
of fiction,
said that we're not being historically accurate. You know?
except
Well,
that
that
they
was the
say
great-
they are, like they're walking between the lines with it. They're like, oh, we're not historically accurate, but we're going to be historically accurate on everything other than this one piece. Well, you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna make people upset when you're like, oh, this woman was, she was in Normandy. Where? She wasn't.
That's fine.
What's the truth? Like, I'm
It would
sorry.
be-
Back in the
you know what's
day, we
funny
were
is-
sexist. We didn't let women on the front line. We were sexist about it.
What's funny is people think it's a
But don't
sexist argument.
whitewash
but
history.
If it was the reverse, if World War II was fought by women and not men, people would feel the same way, and they'd be arguing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
If there were no men on the front line, people would be going, why is there a fucking man on the cover? Or it's not about whether or not they're male or female. It's just, some people are into fucking historical accuracy.
Yeah,
That's the
and
way
the
it
other part, and honestly, what made people kind of upset with this wasn't the fact that it was a woman. It was the fact that she lost her arm and her fucking leg and was running around the front line in World War II. And she had mechanicals, arms, and legs.
Well.
Well, it's pretty fucking dumb.
That's funny though. I just thinking about it.
But that's what they're portraying. Like, that's what they have going on for them. So yeah, they fucking people reacted. But we're gonna move on from this because we're not gonna talk about that on the show. It's a pre-show tidbit of discussion.
Exclusive.
Yes.
Oh man, they're sexist.
All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I don't know if y'all can hear the music or not with this new Discord shit, so y'all just have to give me a sec. I'll let you know. I'll start introducing y'all in a moment.
Yeah.
Welcome to Xbox Uncut, episode 226. We're back with our post E3, reactions. It is a Friday, so, it's been a couple days since all the conferences. So we've had time to really think and dig into that Nintendo conference. I mean, there was a lot there, but to figure that out, I invited a great panel. We have Eric. What's up, Eric?
Hi, what's up, everyone?
Thanks for being here, Eric. I know you're excited to talk about Smash Brothers, but before that, we got Steph. Welcome to the show, Steph.
What up? What up?
We'll figure out your favorite Smash Brother soon. You can tell me where he started in the series with the fucking number. We got Will. What's going on, Will?
Hey, hello.
Hey, Will, did you know that Mario was the very first person in Smash?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
And we have Jason. Welcome to the show, Jason.
What's up?
Jason's not a big Smash player, guys. He's not a big Smash player.
Fuck.
He doesn't understand.
Damn.
He doesn't have the
I
love
really-
for 30 minutes of fucking Smash Brothers on a fucking Nintendo conference about games that I guess they fucking showed, what was it? Mario Party, Smash, and... That's
Let's
it,
not
right?
sell them too short here.
No. I'm not selling them short. I'm being honest about the
okay.
conference. I'm just trying to think what else the fuck they had. Because the
They had,
Pokemon
Are
wasn't
you
during the
gonna be
conference.
honest?
That mech
They didn't
game,
have
remember?
shit. Like, fucking Nintendo looks fucking... It's scary what the proposition of owning a Switch looks like right now.
Hold
And
on,
I
hold
did
on.
not think that was fucking possible after this last year. But Nintendo had nothing.
I have something to say to
Nothing
that.
other
I have
than
something to
fucking
say to that.
Smash Brothers, where everybody
I'll
was like,
say-
came out of like reviewing it with like, yeah, they said there was like 10,000 changes. It just felt like Smash Brothers to me. Like that was like every reaction to that game, and that's all they had.
I
Because they
would
didn't
think
even have a
that-
fucking
that
Mario
was-
Party there for people to play. They had a garbage conference, and fuck you, Nintendo, because that's as much as you care about your fans.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I praise Nintendo all the time on this show. Y'all can't deny
Look,
that.
I have
I
something to
praise
say.
Nintendo. I'm very
Look.
disappointed in them.
Okay, I understand your disappointment, but there was, I ain't gonna lie, even though I was like, damn, that's it, I was like, that's it for different reasons. Because one, there was some stuff in there I was impressed by. That Damon X Machinima game, that mech game, looked really, really cool. You know, I was like, okay, that was like a very interesting game for the Switch, and I was like, that's another thing that comes out in 2019, but looks really cool. Fire Emblem Three Houses? Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. That
Okay.
game was very good again. Comes out 2019. I get like people were thinking like, what was the big game?
Wait, Eric, pause. You're
Yeah.
talking about more of that game than Nintendo talked about. So let's move on. What else do they have?
That's true.
Damn.
Fortnite, that's big. Okay, I'm
That's
not a big Fortnite person, but when I saw it, like, damn, they got. I knew it was rumored, but I was like, damn, they really got Fortnite. And then it was proof the same day, like 24 hours. They only had 2 million downloads. Like, oh, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's amazing. It's just and it
Fortnite's a
still
big
is
game.
blowing up.
It actually runs
Yeah.
really well on the Switch. Everybody could play it right now. What do they have coming up that we give a fuck about?
There's two things. One was
Okay.
the Octopath Traveler, but again,
Yeah.
it was something like you said earlier, like they didn't show enough of it to because to me, I'm a little bit confused. It reminds me a little bit of Golden Sun. Yeah, I don't know if
Mhm.
anybody knows that game, and that already caught my eye when I looked at it, every time I said like, damn, this was like a way better Golden Sun. You know, that was my exact reaction, but they didn't really show me about it. You know, it was there like really quick, and that's it. Then the Pokemon game. I'm really a little disappointed by that because I think they should have had the other Pokemon game out, like the real Pokemon game out now.
Oh, you mean like the Pokemon game? They said Wink Wink 2019. That's the when the real one's coming out. Wink Wink. But you can enjoy this for this year.
But what they're doing with this one is interesting. They're just like, look, you get Legendary Mew and the Pokeball, right? So they're really trying to get you to court you into this game.
So they convinced you to buy a $50 ball to get a
what they're
Pokemon
to
put in your game.
And I ain't gonna lie, the Smash Brothers stuff, when you watch it, like, I ain't gonna lie, it turned into a Smash conference really fast. But when you watch it,
no, it didn't. Yeah, really... It turned into patch notes. Like, this is how parries work, or I like move the.
In their defense, Dustin, I will say that if you're a big Smash player, you want to know all these little details, especially if
every big Smash player I know went. Yeah, this went on too long. You could have done this in a Nintendo Treehouse.
Did it go on too long? Yes.
It went on for 30 fucking minutes of just Smash Brothers.
They showed every damn character in the game and Riley at the end. That was crazy.
Yeah, nobody gave by the end of that, nobody gave a fuck about Riley. They were more like, let's move the fuck on.
That's pretty much what I remember from Nintendo. It was underwhelming. I'll say that their conference was on the same level of
Did you see Giant Bomb's Jeff's reaction to it?
No.
Go watch it. I'm being dead serious. Turn off Xbox Uncut. Go to Giant Bob and look at Jeff's reaction to the Nintendo conference. That is the perfect reaction of all time. Literally with him just like looking at the screen going, what the fuck was that? Like that's it? This is it. That's what you wanted to show. Like, no build up, no like, oh, all the players, all the characters are there. No, it was just like, we're gonna go 1 through 64 or 65 and show you every character one at a time, fighting one person at a time, in the most boring, patronizing,
it was a Smash
bullshit of all time.
It was. I wouldn't really say what I was seeing was disappointing because I didn't see.
I think a lot of people looked at that and went, "Wow, this is
like,
it."
When I saw the Smash
really
thing,
fucking Nintendo.
Really, I don't know. I'm saying like, when I saw that, I was like,
no.
Okay,
when you saw the Smash thing, the only thing you saw was, oh, it's just Smash Brothers. It's not like they're introducing a new concept. It's not like they're adding something crazy to it. No, it's just that's Smash Brothers. Yeah. It's on the Switch. It looked like a fucking HD remaster of the Wii U version. I owned it. Yeah. Every level they had for people to try were on the Nintendo Switch or was on the Wii U. It's not like they were showing off new stages. Showed one new character.
No, I admit that it was in a way underwhelming conference, but I don't know. For me, the Smash thing just didn't. I was just very interested, like because I haven't. So that's another thing. I haven't looked at Smash a lot. You know what I mean? In a while, I've been like hooked on Smash. But every time they showed a character and showing the differences, and I was interested. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
You were interested for all 25 minutes?
I do agree with Will, though. It did turn to like a Smash conference. Like, damn, in that way, like, yeah, this is a Smash conference, like, because they didn't have no Metroid.
Yeah,
people wanted that, People were like, where's our Metroid?
People would have fucking no. Where's Bayonetta? Where's any of the other shit? Like, just Smash. Fun.
Where's Nintendo's investment in some kind of third party or something exclusive?
Well, they got Fortnite. They got Fortnite. They got the worst running version of Fortnite ever.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's amazing. Like, everybody agrees. If you could play Fortnite on any other system, anything, it's better than the Switch version.
What?
Yes.
What do you mean? It's
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X. All play that game better. PC plays it better. I guarantee the new iPhone. Wait, stop, Eric. Pause. I know you're trying to defend. The new iPhone plays it better. Fucking my Note 8 plays it better. Like, no.
Really? Like, that's... I just can't understand that.
iPhone. Wait, stop, Eric. Pause. I know you're trying to defend. New iPhone plays it better.
Hold on.
Psychotron was not supposed to have mic options. I gotta mute that
damn
man.
Psychotron. God damn, you ruined everything, Psychotron. You're fired.
Wow.
No.
Mute.
Psychotron is now fired from Xbox Uncut.
Or I don't know. Maybe if I
Had
can
a great
have him in
career.
here. I got to figure out that because he wasn't supposed to be able to talk in here. I don't mind him being in here. I just something wrong with the roles.
I'll just say their conference.
Continue, Eric. I got a message, Psychotron.
I'll say that not their conference, but I'll say that during the conference with Fortnite, they didn't make it seem like Fortnite was going to be such underperforming of a.
That's not even the big news about Fortnite right now. The biggest news is Sony's response.
Oh no, that's why I was moving on to that. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Fucking hilarious.
All right, so let's just picture this controversy. So let's say I bought $100 worth of stuff on Fortnite, and I want to play with my friend on PlayStation 4, but I mainly play on Xbox. It's what I've always done, or the Nintendo Switch. And sitting there, and I go in and turn on Fortnite on my friend's PlayStation 4 so I could try it out with them. We could play together for a minute or whatever. I am now locked out of my Xbox account for life because Sony has exclusive privilege to anybody that's ever logged into their system, period. Fuck you, Sony.
They're trying to protect you, okay?
It's for the children. It's for the children.
I was reading Reset Air, and there are people actually trying to blame Microsoft for it. And I found it fucking hilarious. Yeah, that whole situation is fucked.
It's their fault, man. Just face it. It's Xbox's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know.
We're giving up.
It's always their fault.
I love people who are actually fucking citing article. Like, some dumbasses were actually thinking it was about crossplay and not about them linking, locking the accounts. And they were posting articles from 8 years ago about how you couldn't crossplay on Xbox 360 with PS3. It's like, dude, it's been fucking 8 years anyway, even if this is what that controversy was even about. But this is literally about that's the biggest thing, like Dusty said, especially like if you had just bought the big part of this is it just came out on the Switch. So if people had played it on the PS4 and all of a sudden went, oh, I'm going to play it on the Switch, I just bought, I just spent, whatever to buy a Switch, and now I'm going to play Fortnite, jump on it. Nope, you can't. You have no access to any of your purchases or anything.
Yep, because you'll be able to, like I said, if you played it on Xbox, you can sit there and log on to the PS4 version. But once you do that, it's over. You can never log back onto the Xbox version. That's the issue. Like, if it was just I logged onto the Xbox version and it kicked me off. It said, hey, you can't play this because you played on the Xbox, and, you can't cross play like that. You can't use it, and it did it for all platforms, and it just didn't let you log on to PlayStation or let you log on to the Switch. That's one thing. That's Epic going, yeah, we're not letting you do crossplay. You're going to have to buy your purchasing system separately. But this isn't that. This is, hey, fuck you, we're out. Like, that's it. Like, you don't get to use your account anywhere else now.
What's even better is their official response was, we understand people are mad, but we've sold this many PS4s and we have this many active users, whatever, fuck off, go to hell, basically. Like, they sat there and basically said, we're not doing anything, boasted about their sales and the amount of active players they have, and then just nothing. It was a real, just basically fuck off. We're not doing anything. Absolutely disgusting. Like, it's insane. And all they're doing is destroying their public image. I really don't get it. Like, you would think Kaz or anyone at Sony would stop and go, look, we're not doing the right thing here. Even if, it's not even, you can make the argument for the crossplay thing. They have an advantage of sales. They don't want to make it, they don't want people to play on Xbox and they want them to buy on PS4. But locking accounts doesn't do anything for them business-wise. I mean, sure, it locks people's accounts. Oh, I got to play it on my PS4 if I want my purchases.
Exactly.
But people are more likely to go, fuck this, fuck Sony. I'm just not gonna. Shit. I wouldn't even doubt if there are people that would go to the extent if they spend enough money on Fortnite to say, fuck it, I'll sell my PS4 to make the money back.
No, what it is in reality, it's that where are you going to play with your friends, and if all your friends are playing on PlayStation because PlayStation is keeping them there, then that's what you're going to do. At the end of the day, they won't care if it allows you, hey, you can play with the phone person, you can play with the PC person, and then when someone's like, but I got the Switch, you want to play with me here? And then they find out they can't. Most people will say, man, it's just the vocal minority on Twitter at the end of the day. Which, I mean, it still sucks, and I don't agree with it, but...
I don't agree with you about that stuff, because it actually got covered by the mainstream media. Like, we're talking big news.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff gets covered by the mainstream media that...
No, I agree, but, like, this is actually hit... When you're literally locking people out of their purchases they made on another platform, it's a step above what we're talking about. This isn't just them going, hey, you can't play on this network if you play, because Sony's actively allowing people that are on Xbox to sign in with that account on their PlayStation and then locking them out of the Xbox part of it when they originally were on Xbox. Like, that is the most anti-consumer bullshit ever. Like, and maybe we could just completely blame Epic, and I would agree Epic has some fault. Epic should go, look, if you ever played on Nintendo or a Microsoft account, you'll be able to cross-do that, but you'll never be able to sign into PlayStation. Like, you cannot sign. And you know what? That would have been a fair compromise, because that way people didn't get locked out of their purchases. But with what Sony's done, they've locked people, Sony and Epic, they've made it so Sony can literally rip Xbox players off of their platform once they've logged into the Sony account.
I might agree with you on the Epic thing. If Sony didn't have a history of keeping quiet on things, like how they've basically paid for exclusive announcement rights, I wouldn't doubt if they had Epic agree to not that they couldn't actually tell people about what was going to happen when they logged in. I mean, they straight up got them to agree to lock people's accounts without even a press release.
But like I said, I'm just gonna.
You think
I don't
Sony
think any of
didn't
us
make them agree to?
I don't think anybody here actually likes Fortnite. None of us are huge fans of it. But what happened with Epic and Sony is fucked up, and it deserves to be talked about, and they deserve to be fucking skinned for it, essentially, in the mainstream media. Like, they deserve all the backlash they're getting, and more.
I gotta interject here. I gotta take Sony's side. Okay.
Wait, you're gonna take Sony's side for locking people out of their purchases on Xbox?
Look.
Then you have no side to take, because we're moving on, Eric.
I'm trying to get into the mind
of
Sony.
We're moving on. I don't care if you're getting in the mind of Sony. Like, I don't need you to, and I'm going to compare him to Adolf Hitler. I do not need to get in the mind of Adolf Hitler to actually understand that what he did was wrong. I do not need to understand why he thought it was right. In any means. We don't need to go down that path.
You're right, but did you know Phil Spencer had a thing to say about it?
Yes, and he was like, I don't want to get in trouble. You're trying to get me in trouble. I watched the Giant Bomb interview too, and he was pretty much like, we're always at the table. I don't agree with what Sony's doing, but every business has a right to do what their business wants to do. And as a consumer, Eric, that would be me, I have the right to go, fuck you, Sony. Go fuck yourself. And that is what a lot of gamers are doing. Because this is fucked up.
Well, even the Reset Era thread is full of people saying, fuck you, Sony.
Yeah, it's not like I'm
blank.
Coming from a position of like an Xbox fanboy. Like, PlayStation fanboys are like, no, this is fucked up. Fuck you, Sony. Like, this is disrespectful.
Who would think Fortnite would cause such a big shift? Everything else.
Fortnite is such a giant game now.
Yeah. Like, everything else was big too, though. But it was like, it's okay. It's not.
Yeah, no, but they didn't lock your purchases.
Yeah. This would be like if Xbox brought Dota to Xbox, and once you logged into it, you could never log into the PC version of Dota again. See, that's a good comparison. Like we would have we would literally fucking burn Xboxes. You would see that on fucking Twitter. But I know y'all might not completely agree with how far we're taking it, but
I'm trying to get into the mind of Sony. That's all I need. I need to get in their mind.
Well, we already discussed their mind. Their mind is that if you're stuck on their platform, that's where you're gonna have to play it, and your friends are gonna have to go play it, and your friends are gonna have to buy PS4s to play it with you, and that you're gonna play it on that because now your purchases are locked to their service. The problem is that forcing people to your service is not a good idea. You're only gonna when you force someone to use your console or use your service, you're more likely to push them away than maintain them on your service. You got to give people the freedom to choose. And
especially on a game like this.
Oh yeah, this game is everywhere. You can't just this is such a terrible decision, and it's really kicking them in the ass right now.
I think it's because they have.
Did you see even their stock has gone down?
Yeah, because I think
Jez... That's something different though, ain't it?
Yeah, no, it's because of this.
You sure? Because Jez said differently. He said, no, that's not what happened.
No, it is this. When you have all the mainstream media covering this, Fox News, CNBC, CNN, everyone's covering this and talking about how they're fucking up, not to mention that game has 125 million players.
Which is ridiculous. I can't.
Yes, their stock is being affected. Maybe not in total, but it is being affected by this.
But that's I think that's all the negativity of E3 we're going to cover. Like that's it.
That's it.
I wanted to get over the whole Nintendo fiasco and the Sony bullshit with Fortnite. Like we covered it. I don't really need to cover it anymore. You've heard at least me and Jason's opinions, and Eric trying to fucking defend Sony.
I was trying to understand and get in your minds.
I'm not going to defend Sony either, but I will say
I never said you were defending Sony.
I said
Eric was like, I need to get in the mind of Sony. I gotta understand the mind of a motherfucker like trying to rip off people's accounts.
That show? How to Get Away with It.
Yeah. How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, I was trying to get in the mind of Sony. How they think, That's all.
Yeah. Steph, I'll let you have the final word, then we're moving on. Unless Will.
No, I was just gonna say that I'm kind of in the middle. I understand why people are pissed, but I can also, if they would give more of a warning, then I think it would be fine that they're doing it. I mean, they'd be assholes, but if they get a warning, hey, this will lock you out of other platforms or something. You know how they do. If they do some shit like that.
I agree. A warning saying, "Hey, we're big dicks." Yeah, I agree. They should have given some kind of asterisk or warning or something, just to go, "Hey, But like I said, that's it. That's all the negativity I want to talk about at E3. That was the big hoopla. I mean, we could talk about how Sony's conference was kind of. The conference itself was really fucking weird and dumb, but the games were good. I guess that was the overall thing for it. The games were good, but the conference was just this bizarre mess. It's the first time I think we've ever clearly seen everybody kind of go, yeah, Microsoft won E3.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You don't even see that too often.
Honestly, if we want to just get the negative stuff out of the way, I would also mention the IGN's fucking top list for E3.
It's stupid.
So weird. Not a single Microsoft, no Forza, no Halo, no Gears.
I'm not.
Death Stranding's fucking on it for some ungodly reason.
I can see why.
Wait, let me guess. No Forza, but Death Stranding. All right, bro. All right.
Look at all the people hyped about this, man. I tried to get people to understand. It's a
Death Stranding looks fucking retarded. I'm sorry. I watched the video.
I don't understand what it is, but there's a lot of people hyped.
It's Hideo Kojima. That's it. That is. If that game was not made by Hideo Kojima, no one would give a shit. I'm sorry. It's true. No one would fucking care about that game if it was not made by Hideo Kojima. The only reason people care is because they know Hideo Kojima is doing something crazy with it, which is fine. I think that's a good reason to actually care about it because they know something crazy is going to go on because it's Hideo Kojima. But the way they showed it, if it was made by anyone else, they wouldn't give an absolute shit about it.
Oh, you're saying the best of? I'm looking now, just so while we're talking. The best of E3, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so the best of E3.
If
Yeah,
you wanted more ammunition against IGN being biased as fuck, there you go.
I don't know how
Done.
Knights and Bikes got on there.
There's a lot of games that got on there. I don't understand how they got on there before a game like Horizon 4.
I didn't see the list, but it's
Super
surprising me
Smash
that.
Bros. I got that.
Like
The
Eurogamer's
only
list, Horizon 4 was the only exclusive to even be on it.
Yeah, because
Which, by the way, I don't completely agree with. I think Last of Us probably should have been on there.
No. You gotta. If you read what they said though, the reason why those games were picked was because those were the best demos that they played it.
Well, that's fair.
We're seeing stuff, right? And we don't know how it's gonna pan out. They played Anthem, and you know they could put that on the list. If I'm correct, it's not on the list. That's the funny thing about it. But those other games stood out. They said Horizon 4 was just that good. Like when they were playing, like damn, we just gotta put this.
I'm not saying Horizon 4 like should get on the list because it's Horizon. I'm just saying that it's
Gears. Now,
the games that are on there.
I bet it would be on that list. Like, your game was like, look, we're gonna have to put this on the list if they got to play Gears.
Well, I'm just talking about the IGN list.
The IGN list. I'll say the only game right on this list, just so we're clear, only game that I can understand that shouldn't be on the list is maybe that damn Knights and Bikes. Everything else is like an anticipated game. Like it looks fire. You know, like Shadows Die Twice. Like I don't like this.
If it's based on anticipated games, Horizon 4 was the second most tweeted game over E3.
Oh snap! For real?
Got a little feedback. I don't know if it's just me, but I hear you.
Damn. So
yeah, Horizon 4 was
then let's
absolutely
swap out
insanely
popular. You see the Knights and Bikes thing? That's an indie game on Kickstarter. Get that out of here and put Forza Horizon on there.
Shit, if we want to go with most anticipated, Eric, Xbox. Well, I guess we're getting into a different, but we probably should just get into this news story anyway. Xbox was what? Just took the record for the most concurrent viewers on Twitch ever for a stream.
Yeah, it's
for
crazy.
the E3 conference. Yeah. And that was with the mixture stuff at the same time.
Yeah, I was talking about that with Stephen Will earlier, like.
And YouTube too. Don't forget YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah. That's absolutely fucking insane.
They did it too. Did you know that though? I didn't know last year they were the highest on Twitch. That was crazy. But I can get your hate for IGN right now. Just looking at it, I could see the hate. If they could put Forts on there, you know, if they wanted. They could just put
No, I think all I'm saying is, to be fair, it should be on there. Like, if you wanted to I don't even want, because I hate to put it in a way where people are like, well, you're just saying that in order for them not to be biased, they have to put an Xbox exclusive. No, I'm just saying clearly Horizon 4 is one of the best games at E3. And it's better than a lot of games on that list. And it's kind of silly that it's not on that list. But also at the same time, it's a personal opinion list.
You said fair, right? That would be by, like, you got 4 PlayStation exclusives on the damn nominee and not one Xbox game. I mean, that's
it's absolutely fucking stupid.
It's absolutely biased.
That's weird. That's weird. And listen, it's not like Death Stranding. I made a lot of jokes about it. I still don't really have any interest in it. But it is a Hideo Kojima game. So,
the only gameplay I've seen for that game is and to be fair, you know, we haven't seen much of the game. It's Norman Reedus carrying some shit across an out.
He's an Amazon delivery dude.
Yeah, he's basically futuristic Amazon delivery.
It's gonna be lit.
I think there's interesting parts of the game, but yeah, as far as gameplay goes or anything, I want to see more, of course. Because it's crazy, but
I don't know. Maybe IGN's just a little weird. I don't know.
A little biased.
The Eurogamer one was way better. Just so everybody knows. Everybody saw the Eurogamer one. That one was pretty awesome. Best of 3. That one. Because they even said that Red Dead was at E3. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I'm sure it was behind closed doors.
They could not go. They said they would not let them go over there.
Yeah, I don't know why the
Red Dead was at E3, but they didn't let them see it.
They could have, but you know, like if you move closer, they would have been able to see it. But somebody stopped them, I guess. They're not allowed to see it.
Wow, even Eurogamer didn't get behind closed doors on it. What the fuck? Who the hell were they selling it to?
Rockstar is like.
Because what would happen is they would let Eurogamer see it, and Eurogamer would be like, "Yeah, it runs
like
27 frames per second."
Yeah,
we saw some.
They're trying to sneak that in.
Like it wasn't running in shape, but they got time, I guess, and no, you just got fuck you. You don't get to see it until it releases.
That's a good point.
Like
Digital Foundry already has a fucking Forza Horizon 4 how it runs thing. for an E3
It's
thing.
Austin too. 30 frames per second, no drops. I ain't playing.
I get that, but it is kind of silly that they
No,
do
but
that for fucking
if you're in the
E3
middle
demos.
producing a game and you're a AAA studio and your game isn't running at, let's say, 100 frames per second, there's a chance you just don't want somebody like Eurogamer to come in and rip apart your game.
Like, can we see the? Eurogamer gets down. Can we see?
Well, it wouldn't even be that. It's just like, I noticed that it wasn't running at like full speed yet, and I didn't know this, and it's gonna hurt the sales to their game. It's like, nope, no, there's no reason you need to see it, not in any state. And they're gonna control their message, and it wasn't publicly available to see, so it's not like they were there for doing contracts with other companies, and just not Eurogamer. It's not a big news thing. All right, is that anything else?
When does that game come out? That game comes out early 2019, right?
No, it comes out this year, I believe, doesn't it?
No, I thought they delayed it to early 2019.
No, they can't do that.
Well, they could do that. I mean, they can't. They have the ability.
How can they? You know how many games decided not to at the end of the year just because of Red Dead?
Eric, this is what Red Dead's going to do. Red Dead is going to launch on February 22nd.
Ah, wow.
Crackdown's gonna move then.
Nah, Crackdown might stay.
What are you talking about?
Game Pass.
Yeah, Crackdown's fine with Game Pass. It'll survive. Yeah. It's fucking Anthem.
Microsoft's like, you got the hookup,
All right, never mind. I was thinking of a different game. It was delayed to this is spring 2018.
Oh, what game?
Red Dead.
Yeah, Red Dead's coming out later. Yep.
It's not spring though. Right?
No, it's fall. It's sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
Even Phil Spencer talked about it for a minute in the Giant Bomb interview. And they cut that man off at the end. I think it's the deep state. What do you think, Eric? Steph? Well, we haven't heard.
Yeah, they cut his ass off at the end because he probably was dropped some facts on their ass.
Yeah.
You mean
the Giant Bomb?
Yeah, the Giant.
Oh, he got cut off. Yeah, that was crazy.
On the sign off, yeah. It was.
I
don't know if you watched the next night where they were like, "Yeah, we don't want to name the operating system," but it was kind of a issue.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they cut him off like, get the hell off that stage.
So what, he said something that he shouldn't have, and they cut him off?
No, it was at the very end. He was just, I just want to say, they were kind of tuning out, and it was like, thank you so much for being here, da-da-da. And he was like, I just, have one more last thing to say. I'd like to thank everybody for this. And it just cuts him off, like, right mid-sentence.
Well, that was kind of off. I mean, too kumbaya, so they got cut that off.
This is why you don't use consumer Windows 10 for a business PC.
Yeah.
Business PCs, you don't have to update like that.
You should use Windows 10. What's it called? Windows 10 Go or whatever.
No, that's even super consumer. Like, no, you wouldn't. You'd use Windows Enterprise or whatever they call it now. But yeah, actually, the Giant Bomb interview with Phil Spencer. It's on night 2. You check it out. It's actually a really good interview. It shows just more how down to earth the Xbox the management team.
He criticizes Xbox quite a bit on it too.
Yeah,
I like the way he brings.
Phil does.
Oh, interesting.
Phil straight up sits there and says the problems they've had and what they need to fix, and like not like bullshit either. Like straight up, like not. Like he is definitely the most down to earth guy I've ever seen in charge of a gaming company so far.
So since I haven't seen it, have they did they talk about like why the new IPs weren't shown this year or something?
I mean, he was honest about how like they did talk about it. They were talking about wait a second. They were talking about how what Criterion what are like Ninja Theory just released a game, so they're still mid production, so that's 2 to 3 years. Like you have so that's not they're not gonna be releasing a game next week. Who else is I'm forgetting all the
Compulsion.
Compulsion. What they're making We Happy Few, that's releasing on August 10th. So they're not making another game. They're about to release a game. So that's not going to that's what you're getting.
I think 2020 is going to be that thing.
Yeah, and but he also mentioned that when they bought Compulsion, they told him, hey, we're not gonna, because the first question that came up was like, are we pulling this off of Nintendo or PlayStation or any other platforms? And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, you can release on all these platforms, even though you're going to be a Microsoft studio. Like,
Wait, what? Wait,
yeah.
What?
He basically said he said it wasn't fair to Compulsion Games to do that to them.
Yeah, to rip the game off. And
they had a
destroy
publishing
the
deal with
relationship.
Gearbox.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, they could have changed it. They could have completely ripped that up.
Oh yeah,
if
they could have killed
but
that.
That's not what they wanted to do. So
Wait,
you could release your game, but he made it very clear future games they would be Xbox centric and not going to other platforms.
That's all that matters.
It's just that We Happy Few was not going to be taken off other platforms just because Microsoft bought them.
Yeah, I figured as much. That wouldn't happen. It's yeah.
Now, an interesting thing he said, he didn't name any names, but I kind of think that Terry Myerson thing we've been talking about is pretty on point, because he said with the recent change up at Microsoft that basically the shackles have been released, and now he reports directly to Satya Nadella when they were talking about funding for first-party games and stuff like that. They were most definitely being held back by people like Terry Myerson from getting the budget they needed.
But he also said
Terry Myerson is responsible for us not having more studios for the last 4 years.
Oh fuck yeah, he restrained Xbox pretty hard.
All right. Well, Undead Labs just put out a game as well, so you're not expecting a game next year from them. Playground Games is releasing Forza Horizon, and they're still working on an open world game that he said he still could not talk about, and he would not look at the back of the behind him. As Giant Bob wrote Fable on a list of things. He's like, yeah, I'm not looking back there.
I think we'll
just
see
not doing
Fable next year. They could have listen. I think
we'll see a trailer.
They could have did a tease like Bethesda. They could have did that, but they didn't want to. I'm pretty sure next year we'll see a trailer.
I think they learned their lesson about announcing games.
Yeah, I feel like he's a little bit scared to show a little early.
I mean, they could have shown a chicken getting kicked, and they would have been all right. Like, that would have confirmed Fable.
No. You can't kick chickens on camera.
Though. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you've ever played a Fable game. That is like one of the key things in the game.
Oh, I played a Fable game.
No, I mean, no. Still though, that's not. I mean, it's like real. You know what I mean? Like real. Gritty.
I'm not talking about a real chicken. I'm talking about an a computerly generated model of a chicken being kicked.
No, I'm just saying.
He's not saying that they're going to bring a chicken out on stage and
slaughter it, and murder it for the
no, they could do
the gods of video games.
Ralph Fulton, the guy in charge of Playground Games, is not going to come out with a chicken and kick it.
Listen, you don't know. This is new Microsoft. This new Xbox.
No, literally, it's against the law to do that. They would never do it.
It's against the law.
It's against the law. Kick one, kill it in any inhumane way designed for sacrifice, which is what that would be considered.
Damn.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. It's a crime. Jeez. But so the initiative is also, he made very clear that is the earliest studio, and pretty much everything is just starting to roll on it, and it's not something that to expect a game in the next 2 years on.
Yeah, that's definitely a next gen studio, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Because that dude just signed on, Gallagher, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of the case for these, but there have been rumors that they've been looking at they're still going to purchase more people, more studios.
Well,
that's one thing. They're going to have a lot of launch games for Scarlet.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not even a fact. He said that during the conference, he said that they weren't going to stop, doing this, buying studios. They have other ideas, other people they want to get to. They may be making a game. That's another factor, right? They got a game they're making, right? They got to finish that game, or they got to negotiate with Microsoft before they get. They buy them and get another game. A lot of people don't think about that. That's gonna be weird.
I'm trying to remember who they said they might the rumors of who they're buying. It's guys that made. They've done a lot of ports.
CD Projekt Red, please.
Republic, no, that'd be amazing, but no. What is that game? Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2. Obsidian is the rumor. They pick up Obsidian. That they buy them.
Hell, the rumor was EA. Remember that? That was crazy.
No, EA is a much like it. EA was believable because it was one thing that we're gonna buy. It looks like they were just like, "No, we'll piecemeal it and just choose what we want, and not one giant publisher." I don't think at this point I don't think they'd buy a publisher. I think they're just going to look at smaller studios like somebody like Obsidian.
I think Phil Spencer woke up one day and he literally said, "I think I want to buy Valve." Because how would that rumor get out there? He woke up and was like, "Look, I think we Valve. We get that Half-Life 3. We get all the PC gamers on our side."
Well, the rumor got out there because Microsoft.
Hey, that'd be crazy. What if they just bought the IP?
What? Which IP?
Half-Life.
No, the Valve would never sell.
But it's not like they're doing anything with it.
Exactly.
No, but they'd never sell it.
They couldn't even get Rise, and they're not even doing anything with that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Checkmate.
Remember they were trying to get IO Interactive before Warner Brothers took them? That was on the list too. A lot of people don't know.
Did they actually try that one, or they?
That was speculated when they were going. Polygon was speculating in the article. They were saying like there's a whole bunch of speculation because they did. This is all the people they were looking at as candidates, and Double Fine came up. Telltale.
Telltale.
Yeah.
Double Fine.
Look, there's an article. Here, look. I'll just put the article here.
I mean, they better not buy them motherfuckers, man. I'm sorry.
Wait, Telltale. Let's not sleep on Telltale. Like, I'm not a big.
I'm straight,
fan
bro.
of I'm a fan of the Walking Dead stuff, right? Not the the other.
I'm sorry. If they gonna buy somebody that make games like that, just buy Play Dead.
Well,
yeah.
Well, might get Play
Dead. Yeah, Play Dead would have been good.
I say buy Platinum Games.
Well,
fuck them. They can take some more fucking off time. They getting stressed out and shit.
Yeah, ideally I would have liked.
They even was trying to get the Eve people. Did you see that? That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was speculated. Wow.
Eve Online?
The CCP games, yeah, that's the Eve people, yeah.
Man, Insomniac would have been awesome, but then they don't seem to want to be bought at all.
Because
they said that.
It's
Sony.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say Playground and Undead said the same thing, and they signed up for it, and Ninja Theory as well. That you never think they would be part of the deal, but Ninja Theory is like the closest to Insomniac because like they want their independence, but they don't want to have to deal with the AAA machine. So so it looks like they're just doing their own thing, and then Microsoft's just gonna fund them. So I mean, it would be very beneficial to Insomniac because that way you don't have to like just rely on contracts like for like Spider-Man and stuff like that. They can just do their own IPs and don't have to worry about it. But I guess they don't want
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know. It still could be a thing with because when you look at the Ninja Theory released a video explaining why they went to Microsoft, and they said Microsoft sent them to every single Microsoft first-party studio, and got the CEO was able to sit down with the studio heads and actually discuss like, they went to fucking Rare and were like, do we really get to do our own shit? Like, are we gonna be under the thumb of Microsoft? And no, like Rare's making Sea of Thieves. It's what they do. Like that's it was their decisions to do it, and they're gonna do it. Like Gears Pop, it was not Phil Spencer's decision. Like that, it was just like, look, we're going to push the brand out to iPhone and Android users, and Pop makes sense. We're gonna do it. Like, and Phil Spencer talked about, it wasn't my idea, and the lineup and to show it at E3 and to have 3 Gears games, he was against it, but. Who's the head of Gears right now?
Rod Ferguson.
Rod Ferguson came and was like, no, that's what we're doing. We want to do it. We believe in the brand. We want to push it the right way. So they're really giving power to their studios to make decisions, and we're all pushing for them to actually make the right decisions as fans of these games.
Another candidate though?
What's
candidate was Don't Starve developers and Double Fine. That's interesting. Double Fine Studios, Tim Schafer, his name. That guy from Psychonauts, they were interested in, and that's weird. Not weird, but that's a weird surprise. They missed IO Interactive though. That would have been crazy.
I want them to see.
They would have had Hitman. That would have been awesome.
My top the games I would like to, or the devs I would like to see them purchase, the guys behind Metro Exodus or Metro Games,
Oh,
I think would be a good purchase.
Yo.
And
Wow.
the guys behind NCD Project Red, like those would be the giant purchases.
Wait. I don't think they can buy CD Projekt.
Oh, of course they can.
Aren't they under a publisher? Don't they have a publisher that owns them?
No, I think they're independent.
They're independent.
Wow, that's great.
So is the Metro Studio, I believe.
Metro Studio is gonna have to get bought eventually.
I thought they were I thought the Metro Studio was owned by Deep Silver.
Oh, did they get purchased by Deep Silver?
Or
were they just published by Deep Silver? Because I know they're an Eastern European developer.
Yeah, 4J Studios or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check that out. Actually.
They're definitely one of the, other than the guy.
Oh, they're private.
Other than Wild Horse Studios, they're definitely one of the best Eastern European developers.
You're right. They can get scooped up. They got 150 people at 4A Studios. They only need 50 to make 2 games at one time, actually. They get 50 more
and you can't deny the greatness of Metro Exodus. That game looks absolutely fantastic, and so has their older Metro games.
And I'm stunned that they are, wow.
And I think Phil Spencer, he made some good points during his Giant Bomb interview. Like, he was talking about how everybody knows what's going on in an industry. Like, we all wink and nod at one another. It's like, will there be another Halo game? Yeah, no shit, there's going to be another Halo game. There's a giant studio called 343. Guess what? They're making another Halo game. The guys that made the Xbox One X, those hardware guys, were they all fired? No. So of course they're working on the next Xbox. Like these just, everybody knows what's going on. The question is when will they release this stuff? When, like we need to, and like he kind of cut through a lot of the bullshit of the industry of like, oh my God, this is the year we're going to get a console. But no, like Phil's more, like he was talking about his decision to announce the Xbox One X when he did. Like, it's like, I don't want to hide these facts. Like, I'm just going to let people know, yeah, fucking 2021. We're going to be releasing another Xbox. Fuck it. Like, that's it. I mean, he didn't say that at the Giant Bomb interview, but like, that's what's going to happen. He's not going to sit there and, like, play footsie with you. He's going to be straightforward about it. Like, he's been very clear. The next Xbox will come when the hardware is ready to go with them. And they're going to lead the way again. Like, that's their big push, is they want to be the best in hardware, the best in software. He wants to be the number one first-party studio setup ever. Like, that's where his push is. That's why he's going for Ninja Theory.
I was saying, I meant to tell you, sorry not to interrupt you. You know what I was saying, people? I was saying, look, gloves is off. Phil ain't playing around no more. Okay, he was on that stage saying like the next Xbox is going to be the most powerful game. Basically, that's what he said. That's basically what he said at E3. And then he's going on telling you that I want to be the best. Like with the first party stuff. I was saying like, damn, he must have like really enjoyed how the Xbox One X turned out. And he's like, you know what? I didn't make a Warriors Dynasty in this first party. Like that's what he's doing now. He's like really crafting, like a crazy first party lineup. Going not like assortment of games, but like a whole bunch of studios. And I think that also is tied to that Game Pass, right? You gotta have games, that are on your platform to also sell that Game Pass. So you need to have more studios to make games,
Yeah, not just that though, but like they're using Game Pass to their advantage in a lot of ways. Look, right now on Game Pass you can play Fallout 4, The Division, and Elder Scrolls Online. That's fucking amazing, seeing as we, The Division's about to come out. So you can definitely have studios go, hey, I don't want people going to buy a used copy of The Division. Let's bolster sales of Division 2 by getting people back into the original Division, or players that had never played the Division. Let's put it in their Game Pass library. That will they'll try it, and then we'll lock them in for buying the Division 2. Like, he said that there's people that have Game Pass buy more games than people that don't have Game Pass. It's a weird stat that they don't understand yet, and it's just a fact. Like, people that play Game Pass also play 4 to 5 additional games over the people that don't have Game Pass a week.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, I think it's a lot like the stats of how people that pirate movies actually are the ones that go out and they buy more movies too. It's kind of a strange stat, like the idea that if you're able to watch a movie for free and like it, you're gonna go out and buy it. If you have the means, anyway. There's a lot of people that just pirate to pirate, and, they don't go and buy the movie. But it's interesting to say the least. Lord. I mean, what were I know he was saying? What was it about that? They actually the sales for people that bought the games while having Game Pass actually
exceeded their expectations.
It exceeded their total sales expectations internally for the game itself.
Yeah, they sold a lot more copies of Sea of Thieves than they ever thought they would, and then they outsold, and with State of Decay as well. Even though they were on Game Pass.
How much did they sell in State of Decay? It was over 1 million. So what was the actual?
Well,
total?
We know they have 2 million active players, but we don't know their actual numbers.
Oh yeah.
Like they never released numbers. He just said he couldn't talk about the numbers, but yeah, they're way better than they thought they'd be, and they're actually showing these, sales to the public. And they think it might be is that when you go on your Xbox Live list and you hit your friends list and you see, man, there's like 15 people playing fucking Sea of Thieves. I need to pick that game up, and you go ahead and buy it. That's where those sales are more likely coming from. Like it's just, I got to be part of this, and
you it's be part of it.
Yeah, and it's a big influencer. When you do see all your friends playing State of Decay, you want to play with them. And you're going to more than likely push yourself either to get Game Pass or buy the game. As I have a friend, my friend James, he actively he wants to own a copy of his game. He does not like the idea of Game Pass. But he'll definitely buy a game to sit there and play it. It's just he won't actively subscribe to a subscription like Game Pass. Which, I understand. I don't blame him, but at the same time, like, I just see the value of Game Pass. But I also have a pre-order right now for Forza Horizon 4 for $100 to play that game early and have all the DLC and all that shit. Like, even though I'm a Game Pass subscriber.
And then you want to, even though it still may be there, you just want to have it all. It's a psychological thing, too. You just want to have it.
But I'll be honest, I bought State of Decay 2. I have not bought Sea of Thieves yet, and I've put a lot more hours into Sea of Thieves than I did State of Decay 2.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, I don't know how. Well, that might be because of the way Sea of Thieves released, right? Wasn't that the first title too, right?
I had Game Pass at the time.
Yeah.
I've never.
That's why.
I've had. Yeah. But I bought State of Decay 2.
But okay, yeah, you bought.
Yeah, I own it. Like, even if my Game Pass went out, I still have State of Decay 2.
Do you
I just don't have Sea of Thieves yet.
Sea of Thieves or something? Do you feel like buying it?
You know what? In like a month or two, when it's actually dropped, I get that 30%. I think it's 20% off or whatever. I might buy it, like, just to actually have my own copy of it.
Yeah, but, I mean, something the same too.
It's one of those things where I enjoy the game a lot, and at that point in time, the game will be like $40 for me to buy, and it'll have all the DLC will be out, and I've had tons of games on Game Pass where it's actually covered the subscription fee, so I won't be mad. It's a good tool to, especially to extort more money out of me as a customer. And I still like Game Pass. I recommend it to anybody. Like, I got friends at work. I'm like, hey, Game Pass, play it, try it, play these games. There's no reason not to play games now. It's available for you. I was honestly very shocked that we didn't see Sony pop out their own subscription or announce EA Access for PlayStation. Like,
listen, they already told you the program.
They're on the way.
Even Sean Layden came out. He's like, look, guys, listen. There ain't gonna be major announcements here. It's not that type of show. He said it just like that. I'm not even. You go back and look.
Please be excited.
It was so funny. It was so damn funny. I'll never forget that. You go back, you'll see him. He's like telling you, it ain't that type of show. It ain't. If you were expecting something like a big surprise or a major announcement, it's not gonna be here. And plus, they got the PS Now thing, right? People already know PS Now, right? So I don't know. Maybe they're just seeing how that turns out. Like I don't think they're going to try to. What else could they do with PS Now, in terms of like getting people to know it's there?
Honestly, what they'd have to do is allow people to download those games and just play, and not have to sit there and stream them.
And the only problem with that is even if they allow that, which I think I heard they're actually starting to allow it or at least test it, is that you can't do it with PS3 games, or it's not backwards compatible or anything.
Man, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's silly. That's really silly of them. Well, it's not silly. It's just their system, the architecture, they can't do backwards compatibility.
Yeah, that's the real killer on that. They really need to figure that out too, because a lot of good games on PS3.
And it can't do PlayStation 2 either, right? So you can't get either one. So you
which is really stupid because
can't get either one.
There's really good PS2 emulators on PC. Come on. Look, shit, just buy out PSC X2. Just run that on the PS4. Fucking run all the PS2 games at 4K. You could do it on PC.
I think it was just never really intended for. I mean, it was not really destiny for Sony's streaming service to blow up. Not for the reasons that it's a small service, but you would normally see that from a software company, not just Microsoft, Apple, or Google. They would be the ones. Amazon as well. I would add them in there. They would be the ones to blow it up.
PS2 emulation's easy.
No, I know, but I'm saying like in the streaming service in general is still not that big. I think they're still waiting for like a big player, like someone who is like pristine in the streaming, understand, service. Like imagine if Amazon popped up right there and they were like, you know what, we're ready to take this live. We got EA or whoever, or I heard Netflix is trying to make a Stranger Things game, and they're saying that's going to be a hit too, right? They're waiting for people like that. Or Microsoft talking about we're going to stream console quality, from your for everything. Like it looks like it's going to be Xbox games on your account that you're going to stream to your phone and all that. So that's what they're going with. Like they're waiting for. We need a Microsoft. We need a big streaming juggernaut to really take the whole streaming thing to the next level for gamers. And until that happens,
well, that will either be Microsoft or Amazon because no one else is capable of doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why PS Now, it didn't happen. It didn't go anywhere. It was on Samsung television. It's on Sony television. I'm like,
because they relied on rack space.
No, Valve even had a thing too. Remember, you could stream, to that. They had more, and there's no fee for that. That's just you streaming your home thing. Valve actually gets more play on that, on their streaming thing, than even Sony would. You would think it would be the other way around, because Sony has more platforms, but you hear more about people streaming their computers to the living room, like with Xbox too. Xbox is the same thing, streaming from your living room to your computer. Is it that way they do it? Yeah, they do it that way. So that's the reason. That's the real reason. Actually, it's unfortunate, but
I would say that the downloading option is going to be good for them, man. It'll be great on Sony's PlayStation Now.
I mean, it wouldn't cover all those games. It would only cover
it's not
PS2
great
games.
It's not great.
Or no,
how do we know that?
It's not going to be great. I doubt
because emulating the PlayStation 3 would be no task that the PlayStation 4 is not capable of.
Yeah, you can't.
But it could be. They could figure some sort of workaround, I'm sure.
What, by remastering every single one of the games and just have them up there for free through the service? Then you still wouldn't have all the games. Like, they'd be just a bunch of remasters. They're like, I don't even think it's the engineer's fault at Sony. It's just the cell processor is such a clusterfuck to emulate. I don't think it's possible for them to do it, period.
Yeah, you can't do it.
It was a miracle for Microsoft to do it with the 360. But, the PlayStation 3 is an order of magnitude harder.
Yeah. But I mean, I was going to say, maybe if it's just installing a couple packets or downloading a few packets so the stream is better or something like that, then, I mean, that still would help, wouldn't you think?
No, you're just adding latency. Because what is the PlayStation 4 going to do?
Yeah, the PlayStation. If you're downloading something, the PlayStation 4 would have to be running the game. You know, that's much like with Xbox. Microsoft's set. You know, we see how they roll. You can download.
No,
the game.
they're actually emulating the console itself.
Yeah, they're actually emulating it now. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that thing. You'll get PS4 stuff. I mean, if you want to just stick, if that's what you want, you'll get that PS4 stuff.
But yeah, I mean, you're just not going to see it out of Sony. You're not going to see PlayStation 3 emulation. You might see it on the PS5, maybe. Even then, it's going to be a bitch.
Because it has the same architecture now, like exactly. It might
PS3.
No, what do you mean? No. I'm talking about PlayStation 3. Like, you're not going to get PlayStation 3 emulation even on the PS5, more than likely.
Oh no, dang! That's the major. Oh man, that's kind of messed up. Like that, what Microsoft did. Like, people gonna have to give them props. Even next gen, where they gonna be able to say, look, you're gonna be able to play. You're gonna be playing stuff.
Original Xbox 360,
Xbox
One,
and then the next generation. You know, wow, it's gonna be awesome.
I do think it was funny that I saw people going, forward compatibility is bullshit. And I was like, yep, let's just wait till the next generation and see what you're saying.
Yeah, they did. And the funny thing is, this is the first generation, like, your games upgraded just with new hardware. That's some new stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome to see.
Being able to buy the Scarlet console after the Xbox One X, like 3 or 4 years after the Xbox One X, come home, hook up your hard drive, and this is the second console generation you're going to be able to do it on and have access to all of your games.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking amazing.
Crazy, yeah. Pretty awesome.
That you've never had that for multiple generations in a row.
Yeah, that is 100% new. It is, and that's something that everybody should give a clap on the hand. Give a clap to Microsoft for.
Not just a clap; it's what everyone should be emulating.
First of all, Jason, you're wrong. I'd like to put into possession the Game Boy to the Game Boy Color, and Nintendo has always Nintendo has always done it first, Jason.
You couldn't hook up a hard drive to a Game Boy and have access to all.
Well, you stick put all your cartridges in. I mean,
yeah, but.
I'm just
what I meant was, I know.
It's just
what I meant
everybody
was
sits there and gives Nintendo credit for everything. They made the analog stick. No, Sony kind of really pioneered 2 analog sticks. Like, I like the N64. It'll always have a place in my heart, but that controller was a bitch and it sucked. And Sony's original controller fucking sucked too. It was the DualShock on the original PlayStation that really made that system awesome. All right. My bad. I didn't mean to take over the discussion. But I did.
Did we talk about Sony's E3 yet?
We called it a clusterfuck that had good games. I mean... like, is there really more to talk about? Yeah, in The Last of Us, The Kiss, they had 4 games. Well, they concentrated on 4. They had 8 games total. Most of them people, you know, they had really good lineup.
I had 13 games, I thought.
I thought it was 8. I don't know. Going off of what I heard. It's nice.
Well, you gotta
what about Resident Evil 2 Remake? That looked awesome.
It's coming,
It's coming to Xbox.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it looked awesome.
Listen, the reason why I don't count that, because that was disgusting to me. That was, to me, as somebody who's scared of horror games. I saw some scary... When I saw that, I was kind of scared. And then when he opened that dude's jaw, I was like, no. You know, like, you see his whole jaw, and they show every vein and the meat and all that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is quite a remake. You know, it's probably gonna be a good game, but I'm probably gonna have to avoid it. You know, it looks scary, creepy. You know, it looks Resident Evil, but I can't get with it. You know, I'm with Steph though. It was a hot game that they revealed. Control, not really. Control just seemed like Quantum Break. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Quantum Break, but I'm saying, like, when I saw that, I was like, Remedy literally, like, instead of making like a Quantum Break 2 or something, they really made this game called Control with a female. Okay, you're playing as a female now, but the power, you know, the powers and stuff, it looked straight out of Quantum Break.
Because it literally was. They took all the technology they built.
You know, you watch them, I was like, wait, Quantum Break 2, and I was like, oh, mate, they really just. Wow.
Well, to be honest, I'm happy they did it because it would have took 18 years for them to make another game. So if they have to strip mine Quantum Break to make another awesome game, because I like Quantum Break, it was an awesome game, then let them do it. Like, I think they're a great developer. They're just really fucking slow to develop.
Well,
and
why
if
couldn't they
like
make
I said,
Quantum Break 2 then? Why couldn't they do that?
because sometimes things aren't commercial successes and you have to move on. Like they
No,
did
I'm
not
just
get
gonna
the
ask.
success they
Maybe
wanted.
could they? Like I don't understand. Why couldn't they put like Quantum Break 2, even though I know the other one was a bad, wasn't a success, and it was just an awesome trailer. I don't know of a
Well,
sequel.
it's
Awesome
risk
sequel.
reward. Like they're better off saying, "Hey, we got a new game, new title. There's no bad stigma about a TV show on this title.
But
We
people
have
gonna
awesome
look at that and
assets."
say that game looked like Quantum Break, 'cause that's the only thing people say. It's still.
But
That's
are
Quantum
they
It is Quantum
really?
Break.
It is. But are they really? Like, are people
They
saying
are.
that?
Go to IGN's like live thing when they were talking to the person. They said, "This look." No, they even said, "Is this like Quantum? Is this a Quantum Break sequel?" Like,
You
it
know,
does look like that.
honestly, you would have to control the Quantum Break.
Oh wow. Yeah. Maybe.
The
That's
only
what I'm
thing is, the story is going to have nothing to do with the original game.
The
And
story will be the story within
Character.
the other story. That's a story.
yeah, it's
through a TV monitor
Actually,
that's somewhere in the game.
The game.
Yeah.
You remember that Tom Knife skit that's in the game? The email you can read.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that game is.
Yeah.
The best
See, we all knew.
actual game of Sony's E3 for me was not even Last of Us. It wasn't Control.
What? No, Last of Us is the best game of that show.
Okay, wait. You know what? Let's
Crazy.
get to Last of Us. Last of Us, the kiss thing, like how everybody said
Man,
that. Hold
throw
on
the
a minute.
kiss away.
Let
Look
me
at the
finish.
gameplay. Gameplay was
Hold on a
balling.
minute. The kiss
Wildin'.
thing was like crazy, and then it goes to her like ripping some dude's jugular out. I was like, okay, damn, this is pretty bad.
What was wrong with the kiss?
Let me finish. No, I'm just saying, like, one thing I'm saying, like, I'm going through the motion what I remember.
Okay.
Trailer, sorry. And then the killing was pretty violent and vicious, but damn, I can't even lie. Like, that just looked like The Last of Us. Like if when you think about it, it will look pretty good, like, visually, and it was gory, but then when you think about it, it's like, damn, why? Like, it was like, I wasn't really too. Like, after you watch it a couple times, like, man, I'm really not that impressed by that demo. Like, when you think about it. It's aight. It's aight. It's Last of Us, but it wasn't a deep dive. I don't know if anybody remembers that. They said they were going to do a deep dive. I didn't really feel if that's a deep dive. Damn, there's a lot of things they're gonna have to.
Yeah, I think the deep dive was for I guess it was for Last of Us. Was it?
Yeah,
No, was it Death Stranding?
Oh, Death Stranding was a deep dive. Okay.
One of the
that
games
was a deep dive. What the fuck?
There was one game that they said we're going to focus on these 4 games and we're going to do a deep dive on this.
Oh yeah.
game.
Okay. They said.
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Maybe it was the Ghost of Tsunade or Tsushima. Maybe it was that
Tsushima.
one.
But you had that all fucked up.
Yeah, sorry, I messed up that whole name.
It better
I'll
not be
say,
Death
like,
Stranding. Jesus.
like Last of Us really wasn't like when you watch. Like the first time was like shocking seeing the blood, but then we watch it again or a couple more times. Like, wait, this is just like it's not like just knock on again. Look, it's just Last of Us. It didn't seem too. You know what I mean? I was like, it didn't seem too crazy. But the game that really did it for me was Spider-Man. Spider-Man looked ridiculous. I was impressed by that game. I was like, this is the game everybody ever wanted to get. They had Rhino and Scorpion beating the hell out of Spider-Man in the end of the trailer. They had that chase scene with Electro. He's looking rough, bald. He got a new suit.
I'm upset they didn't use my boy Jamie Foxx for
Oh no, Shocker's got to be white, man. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Jamie Foxx can't be in there with the and the glasses.
He can't be in there.
Can he Tropic Thunder it and just be in whiteface?
Oh gosh, jeez.
No.
No, I think it's fair.
Jeez.
No.
Well, he could. No, only if it's Robert Downey Jr. But in terms.
Or
of
no,
the,
are you saying Robert Downey Jr. just has a role, and then we can get Jamie Foxx in whiteface?
Yeah, he just has to. Yeah, we just need to put him in the game. Then
Okay.
we got it. But that whole demo, that was one of the most impressive demos for me. The Spider-Man demo was way more impressive.
What if fucking Iron Man shows up in the game at the end or something? That'd
What
be
if
awesome.
that's it? What if it's Iron Man? Like I thought about that. What if Iron Man's gonna show up in the game or something? That'd be awesome. It's not a traditional Spider-Man game. People don't know that. They were saying there was rumor that Daredevil's in the game, like he shows up or something.
That'd be cool.
So we'll have to see.
Or Deadpool.
Yeah, but that was for me. If I was gonna be honest, like if I was gonna rate games, like the exclusive wise, I guess Control didn't do anything, and Resident Evil I wouldn't because I'm just too scared of that. Just saying, that, I'm just gonna be too scared to
It's
play
not
that game.
exclusive though.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah, I'm
that's
just
not exclusive at all.
yeah. I was gonna say like if I was gonna rate just games, like those two, Control just seems like fun rating. Resident Evil's too scary, so they go to the side right off the back. But if I was gonna rate games, I'd be like Spider-Man, um, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, and then Death Stranding. Mainly because I was just more interested in those two games while I was watching. Like
I
Last of
was
Us, at first, Last of Us was more shocking to see the deaths and the blood and how vicious the game is from the last one. You know, that's what really it was. Whereas when I saw Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, damn, this looks like Witcher 3 in Japan. You know, like that was my first reaction. Like they go on Witcher, you know, the Witcher route, and they went Sucker Punch decided to make this open world samurai game, and it just looks awesome, you know, in that regard. But then
I hope that game's good.
Death
Honestly.
Stranding looks it looks very like the trailers, right? The game could be awesome, but I think they should never release a trailer for for a game. If you know, I mean, Hideo Kojima should just if you're gonna do like a real good trailer for E3, you gotta interest the viewer. You know what I mean? You know, you got this guy carrying packages around. You got this girl eating bugs. Like, what you doing? What's going on? Um, but Spider-Man just was, man, it was up at the top. You know what I mean? Like way at the top for me because they just left the bigger impression. What about you, Steph? What was your top in the order for games?
In order,
Yeah, like if you were gonna have an
number
order
one is
list.
Last of Us. Number two,
This guy.
Ghost of Tsushima. But I'm kind of like watching to see how that game's gonna be because I really didn't like the last Infamous. If I'm being honest. It looked good. The powers are cool, but it just lacked the
Oh,
soul.
that's because I know what you mean. That was because they admitted that game they didn't like really take a time to add more content to it. That's their
It
issue.
wasn't missing content. It was missing the soul. The main character was sucky. I didn't care about the brother. I didn't care about none of the characters in the game. I mean,
No,
I
but when
cared
you
about
look at Ghost of
Cole.
Tsushima though, it looked different. It looked like there's gonna be a lot of emotional connections. Like there was a part when I think it was a part when
Just
he gets in front of the girl and it's in the gameplay. I was like, yo, this reminds me of, like those old Japanese,
well,
you
I'm
know,
just
like
saying that.
fight scenes. You
Yeah,
know, like
I'm just saying that I'm just waiting. I put it number two for a reason. I'm just saying
yeah,
I want to know if it's
okay,
gonna be better.
number two,
That's all.
okay.
And I would say Spider-Man 3. It would be one, but there was no Venom or nothing like that. That showed Venom or Carnage or something like that, I'd be like, all right, you got me. There's no Venom. So, I mean, obviously he's going to be in the game. If he's not in the game, that's a fail. Uh, 4. I don't even have a 4. I don't give a fuck about Death Stranding.
Okay,
After
yeah,
I
I was
seen that
about to
shit.
say. I knew you was just gonna go. I knew I was gonna say you're gonna just pick three.
I mean, what other exclusives did they have?
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's it. That's it. That's
they
it.
had more. I'll put Tetris at number 4. Tetris.
Damn, savage.
Or Dreams. I'll put Dreams at number 4.
Nah, forget that.
What about you, Will?
And like my top 5 games,
Yeah, sure. From Sony's show.
songs. Uh, I- let's see. I actually say Resident Evil 2, the remake was pretty awesome. What's the other one? The Quantum Break style one. What's the name of it again?
No.
Control. Yeah, Control. Have that as my second. Third. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll put Spider-Man first because that was a pretty
Thank
awesome
you, Will.
showing.
Virtual fist bump.
There's no Venom though, Will.
Stop.
Let's save it. We
No,
can save it
Will
for the
made it
sequel.
No, don't let Will talk.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man, Resident Evil 2, Control.
Okay.
What's the other one? Ghost of Tsushima looked pretty dope. It's a little stiff though in the animation and kind of Bushido
You know
Blade-ish,
why it
but
was stiff, Will? Because after he cut that dude's arm off, you know, he felt a certain way. You know, his arm was, you know, Got
A little stiff in the joints.
Yeah, a little stiff in the joints after you cut some dude's arm off.
Yeah, I think that makes 5, right? Yeah, I'd say those. Besides that, I can't think of anything right at the moment. Well, Neo 2 looked pretty awesome actually.
No, I missed Neo
Steam
2.
preview.
Wait, Neo 2 look awesome.
Yeah, I
Wait,
missed.
did I miss something? I didn't see no gameplay.
Yeah, it was just kind of a cinematic, but yeah.
You played the first one?
I have it. I played a little bit of it. I have to fully get into it. I have so many PS4 games on backlog. Like that's the curse of having like 2 consoles. You have too much stuff to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you guys do Microsoft's or you just want to do Sony?
Yeah, let's do Microsoft too.
Wait, Dustin, did we do Microsoft already?
Well, I mean, we did it last or on Sunday.
I don't know if we ranked them, did we? Did we like rank the games?
We didn't rank. Oh, no, but we were gonna get Jason. No, who did we need? Who was?
It was Jason and Eric.
We didn't have somebody's rating or something. Maybe that's what it was.
On the conference itself.
Yeah.
No, I think everybody gave it that.
No, Jason didn't, because Jason left the show early.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, Jason. I think he left the show early.
Yeah, I think he bounced already. All right. Well, I mean, we could do favorite games. I already did mine. It was Forza Horizon 4. I think that really showed the power of this year's conference. Like it's. I know it's a Forza game, and we see them every year, but like fucking that season shit, and the fact that it's a huge open world. And like it's a fucking 72 players in a fucking server now. Like that is insane and amazing, and it gets me excited to think how much fun I'm gonna have, me and my friends, even if they're not big Forza fans. You know, it's a $10 Game Pass subscription, and they can play with me, and we're fucking gonna have a ton of fun in that game. Yeah. I think Forza as a franchise has proven that just good mechanics and a well-crafted game could take you really far, and you do not have to have a cop following you to chase you down in a street to just have fun driving a car. Like everybody keeps saying Forza gets more and more arcadey, but they haven't had to do Burnout or any other game. It's a unique thing where it's between you and the car, and it's just have fun, and it's the best racer I think out. Period. I don't think anything touches Forza now.
Best racing. Well, I'll say
best car game.
Series,
period. You could put in. You know what? Put fucking Mario Kart in there. Fuck Mario Kart. Damn. Doesn't have shit on Forza.
Oh, snap.
Forza has become
Dustin,
the pinnacle of all racing. Yeah, I'm making my claim. I don't think there is a racing experience better.
Dustin, I don't want to get stabbed. Okay, I don't stand with him now.
I'm gonna say that Mario Kart's pretty good.
No, I'm not saying Mario Kart's bad. In no means. Mario Kart's a lot of fun. Mario Kart has not evolved in a very long time. Forza continues to evolve every year, and it's amazing to watch.
It's more, it's funny. It's more of a.
I don't know. Those stairs you give people when you pass them up, pretty cool, man.
Funny. But the funny thing is that he's right though. Like Forza is weird how they're stuck in a weird place where they have to evolve. But when we look at like Nintendo, they kind of get a pass because it's Nintendo, right? Nintendo don't gotta evolve as fast. But all the scrutiny is always placed on like all these new modern developers. They get the most scrutiny. Like, well, your game doesn't have enough like textures on the car, you know, like your game's weather is weird, all that type of stuff. You don't have enough tracks. But for Nintendo, it's like it's Mario Kart, guys. Come on, it's awesome.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
but the thing is I and it's not even like a Microsoft's being held down. Like everybody's held at that standard except for Nintendo. Like Nintendo is. Like, don't get me. I think the one exception to that is going to be The Last of Us 2. I can't imagine there's actually going to be a lot more mechanics they're adding to that game. It just has to have a killer story. That's all.
Don't worry about the story. The story gonna be dope.
No. I completely agree. But I honestly, I don't want a ton of new mechanics in The Last of Us Part 2. I just want to enjoy the experience. I never felt like I was hindered in The Last of Us originally, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, they're going to prove it. They're going to mess with the formula a little bit, but I think that it's almost like a book. Me and Vern were talking about it, how it doesn't even feel like a sequel. It just feels like the continuation of the story in a sense. It's not like this is Call of Duty 5. Like, no, it's fucking, this is part 2 of The Last of Us.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Dustin, and say, sorry to cut you off. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Last of Us had a really good story, but the gameplay itself was close to dog shit. I mean, the gunfighting was a little too heavy, and I know what they were going for, and I just think they missed it. The crafting was cool, gunplay was and the fact that you have to find a crate or some sort of thing to climb on top of like 15, 20 times in the game is very annoying, and even make you do the same exact thing in water. I mean, like 4 times. I mean, if you play like I played Uncharted 4. Then I went back and played Last of Us, and I only played about 4 hours because I was like, oh my god, I can tell these people who made this game made the last game because they didn't even like fix their problem with this game, which they got a 10 out of 10 for, and got high praise. They're like, this is fine, no one's gonna say anything, but they realized after Uncharted 4 that hey, these crate things are bad. I mean, I know it's stupid and a lot of people use it to poke fun at the game, but if you really, really play the game and like pay attention to just small things like that, like when you're in the jungle and you find a crate with wheels on it, I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Like you're completely right. And I'll be honest, I don't like any of the Uncharted games. I'm not a fan.
Whoa there, buddy.
Not a fan of the Uncharted games.
Come on.
It's mainly because of the mechanics. I can't get over the mechanics to them.
Okay.
But
don't you disrespect handsome Indiana Jones?
I was gonna add some.
I'll take Lara Croft any day because her mechanics are fucking decent.
I was gonna say like at yours was Forza Horizon 4, right, Dustin?
Yes, game? Forza Horizon 4 is my game of E3. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we actually saw gameplay to Cyberpunk, it'd probably be Cyberpunk. But because we actually saw gameplay.
Thanks to Eurogamer, I've made 2 things now. I've made the game of E3 that doesn't have gameplay, and the one that does have gameplay. The one that doesn't is definitely Cyberpunk, because that whole trailer, it was one of those trailers.
I don't know, man. What about Halo, man?
No, hold on a minute. Halo didn't even close to like how I felt when I saw Cyberpunk. Like when I saw Cyberpunk.
Eric, I got a quick question for you. Yes. Didn't it give you like the first time you watched Sunset Overdrive kind of the same vibe of like this is gonna be fun, this is gonna be awesome?
This is going to be awesome. Like this was the exact reaction, and I was like I didn't see any gameplay, but I knew immediately that they had gameplay there. And then I had to watch the journalists all react to the game, and I was disappointed. I was like, I don't want to hear you guys talk about it. I want to see it. You know what I mean? So that gets my game that I didn't get to see. But if I was going to say the game of E3 that I did get to see, this is going to be shocking to you guys. Okay, so be prepared. The game of E3 that I did get to see was Shadows Die Twice. Yeah, I know, not Gears of War 5. I know, right?
That's my pick too.
Shadows Die Twice, right? It was one of those trailers, right? Just like Cyberpunk, where you were sold, but you saw gameplay. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I was sold on it. Just like that. I was like, damn, this looks like a mix of Ninja Gaiden. They talking about like made from the Dark Souls guys. But from what I saw, it was different, very different. Like it just seemed like a really good twist on a samurai game. This dude he's trying to hunt down find his master or whatever, and he died. He got messed up basically. His arms got messed up, and he given these weird bone metal type of arms or whatever, and he could wield a blade. And he got an axe in one hand and a freaking samurai sword in the other. It's just ridiculous. You got these big dudes who shoot poison on their damn samurai swords. They want to slice you up. You got giant snakes and mantis in the game. It just looks good. It just sold me on it, So those 2 are my games of Microsoft's E3.
Will, do you have any game you want to talk about in particular? I think I lost Will. Everybody's leaving me. If y'all are gonna leave me, I'll just ask Dad to join the party. But
Will lost.
I will say
if I could pick... Will comes back? If he comes, sorry.
I was gonna say if we could talk about Gears. I know you brought it up and it was close to being on your top, but Gears for me.
Sorry, I was gonna tell you about that. Yeah, that's why about Gears.
Yeah, Gears that looks fucking amazing. I can't wait to play Gears 5. Hopefully, I think they should stick with the name, just Gears, and not do Gears of War. I think that it's a good separation of the series where it's like you got Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, and then you have Gears 4 and Gears 5. Where it's
that is the name they're sticking with. It's Gears 5. It's not called Gears of War, which is crazy.
Well, Gears of War 4 was announced Gears 4, and up until release was just referenced as Gears 4. Then they made it at the last minute Gears of War 4. So we'll see if they stick with Gears 5. Rod Ferguson more than likely is going to change it to Gears of War 5. But I think Gears 5 is a good name for it. I think every fan will know what that is. And
I think because the only reason why you would change it is if the game is not based on a war anymore. That's the only time.
Yeah.
Like, the War 4, there was a war going on. But in Gears of War 5, there is a war, but then the story seems more personal. Like, it's a different story, Yeah, I'd be down with Gears 5. Gears 5, I'll be down with that. I'm not... The reason why it also didn't make my game at E3, because, I'm a big Gears person, because it just seemed a lot of weird things going on in that damn cinematic trailer, most than that really was confusing to me. Like, Kate... Like, not that Kate storyline is the storyline. She's the front row seat. Like, I get it now. She's the front row. She's the main event. But like,
I think they even come out and said she's pretty much the lead character in the game.
Yeah,
now,
she's the lead character. So that was just a little surprise for me. So I'm still trying to adjust to understand that. But then JD, how he looks, dude's messed up with an arm. It seemed like so much time passes. Like, it seems like I know Gears of War 2 had a time jump. Yeah,
Eric, you're going to learn all about that when Gears 5 releases, and they actually go through the story to explain it.
I know, when they started explaining. I want to know what the hell happened to his arm, because last time I saw him, he was good. Okay?
Yeah.
He didn't have his arm was functional, he was good.
Do you think
his arm was...
I'm sorry, Eric. Do you think did they do, like, 3 years before? Like, just out of nowhere, and like, take you back?
They could do it. Yeah, they could do it. I hope, what I hope they do, because I don't want them to miss anything. You remember towards the beginning of the Gears of War game, when they saw, Gears of War 4 game, when they were showing you being spied on? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
They gotta explain that, because they never really explained it too well towards the end of the game. So it has to open up. I don't know if, you know what I mean? We don't know who was really spying on you, or it was that person. Like, it looked like it was, it looked like it was like Adam Phoenix or something, you know what I mean? But I doubt it was, They need to touch on that part of the story too. I just hope that it's, I don't know. I hope that the story, like, that I hope Kate doesn't turn into a villain. You know what I mean? Because it feels like she's gonna be a villain, doesn't it? Like, when you see that.
I wouldn't say that.
It looked like she's gonna turn into a villain. Like, remember in the trailer, like she was using the weapon of one of the locusts or whatever. If I saw that correctly, like one of the weapons, like in the trailer, it makes me wonder if she's gonna be a villain.
I hope not. It's an easy trope they could use at the very end of the game where she twists sides. Like, I hope that's not the route they're going with it.
That would be crazy.
I see where. Well, it wouldn't be. It would just be lazy writing. And I hope that they come up with a more clever story than that. I'd rather see, like, JD just keep getting, like, more and more, like, untrustworthy with her. Like, just completely, like, banishing her. And her becoming a more powerful, like having a more powerful character, and just be like, no, we're going to do this on our own. We're going to figure out what's going on with the Locusts, and maybe actually even finding out why the Locusts are doing what they're doing in now, you know, versus then, and like actually pushing the narrative where she's not a bad guy, she's just a bystander, and she's going to figure out her own way. I mean, I think you're just going to see a really strong female character out of her, because every Gears character has been super strong. No, there's not really been a weak character in the universe, and I just don't think she'll be weak enough to.
Of course,
like
there was
abandon
Carmine.
her value.
Carmine, he was weak. Got his head blown off.
No, he got shot repeatedly. He was never
Supposed to be
weak.
weak though.
Yeah. Well, he died like that. That's the whole point. Like over and over, it was just a joke. But and he didn't die in the last one, so he's good.
Yeah. He's good. Carmine's family.
He's Carmine. They have a lot of siblings. That's all I know.
Hey, do we see a Carmine? Did we see a Carmine in Gears of War 4? I don't remember.
I think he was in there.
He was? Well, he didn't die, though. They should bring something like that back. Some type of... Everybody gave their games. Did Steph give his game to the E3?
Yeah. Shadows died twice, too.
Yeah, okay. What about the one that you without gameplay? If something
Halo. I'm a fanboy.
Halo. The reason why I didn't really like with Halo Infinite, it was amazing, but it just wasn't like Cyberpunk just took the cake without gameplay. It was just so much stuff they were showing, you know. Like if Halo showed like.
I'm sorry, Eric. Just so you know, Carmine has a cameo in Gears of War 4. That's what it is.
I forgot. I didn't see
he doesn't die. It's just a cameo, though.
Cameo.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to.
Gears 5 got to do it again. They got to have Carmine up in there. You know, we got to keep this tradition going. But Beard is there too, right? Beard and I'm pretty sure Beard is going to be in there. Coltrane probably is going to be in there. But we also had a new character. Did anybody see in the trailer? There was a guy. After Kate was talking, there was a guy to the left of her. I don't know his name, but it was a new character in the trailer. New cog.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll have a big part, but he looks like a new person. He might be a new Ty. You never know. Gotta wait to find out.
All right. Is there anything else y'all want to cover for E3 before we end the show this week?
We could go over the disappointing or the MIA stuff. Not at E3.
Missing it. Well, we kind of covered that on the last show.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm still disappointed Splinter Cell was not there. Okay?
I mean, I didn't expect it, to
that.
be honest, because the Division is there. I just don't see them releasing Splinter Cell and the Division in the same year. Maybe, I'll put it this way. If next year they fucking roll out a Rainbow Six trailer, don't expect Splinter Cell either. But I think they have the opportunity to make the Division, Rainbow Six, and Splinter Cell like just every 3 years and just keep rolling them through that cycle. Gives them a nice timeline. It divides the Tom Clancy name a little bit, so you're not just sitting there going, wow, I got to play like 3 Tom Clancy games this year. Like you're never going to run into that issue. So it's like it would be a good role for. If, in my opinion, I think the Division 2 this year, Splinter Cell next year, and then the next Rainbow Six.
But my issue was Walmart was the one who leaked this stuff. They leaked Splinter Cell, Avengers, and Borderlands, as well as all the other stuff that was facts. So, what happened? Everything else was facts. We got Gears of War 5. We got there was a whole bunch. So let me go to Walmart leak real quick. So I make sure. Walmart. Leak.
Yeah, but they might have had just like generic bullshit. Like Gears 5 was pretty much guaranteed. Like if they were said Halo 6 or Halo 7.
Let me tell you. Just Cause 5, Splinter Cell, Dragon Quest 2, Lego DC Villains. Both of those 3 games were there. Borderlands 3, Rage 2. Gears of War 5, Forza Horizon, they got the title wrong. They put 5 instead of 4, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, what happened? You know, what happened with this leak?
Maybe they announced it at GDC. Maybe it was just a bunch of pre-done stuff with some regular stuff that they knew was coming.
They got me hyped, you know? I was like, about to see some Splinter Cell. You know.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else I want to cover? Because I hate to say it's getting late and I got to be up early.
That's it.
Gotta wrap this guy up. But I'd like to thank
No,
everybody.
I think
for
we got
joining
it.
us.
I think we got it all.
We really do appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight while we do the podcast live. If you would like, you could always join Mixer, just like Psychotron did. But I fixed it so y'all will not have a bunch of background noise. Please join us on Discord, through our Discord channel. We always post a link up on our Twitter, and it's actually accessible through xboxuncut.com. You'll see the Discord link at the top. We appreciate everybody for tuning in on Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch. But until next week, y'all have a wonderful weekend and an amazing Father's Day. So peace out, everybody.
Later.
Peace.
Game over.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in live. We appreciate it so much. But we will catch y'all later. Good night.
Later.
Later.